All right, gang, here's where we are. I was hoping you'd be watching video number 1 of 2 videos from 2 skydives that I made this weekend. This past weekend, the 23rd, 22nd, something like that. Anyhow, video number 1, absolute bust. I learned some lessons. I should say I relearned some lessons. Something I learned in the Army a long time ago, and I should know better, is never take only one of anything if you want it to actually work. You need to have at least 3 of anything, right? You need to have your main and your backup, and then your backup to the backup, because your main will fail and your backup might fail if you don't have another backup, right? So I had only one camera, and I didn't record the audio from my radio because thankfully I had ham radio nomad Jeff. I'll put a link to his channel, I think up here. Am I doing that right? Yeah, it's up here. Go subscribe to Ham Radio Nomad. He's got a good channel. So because he was at the drop zone, he was able to record the audio from my jump, and that's the only reason I have the log of these folks who I managed to contact during jump number 1. Anyhow, I'm making this video now, which is something I was going to put up next week, and that is how did I make that jump? The whole setup. This was jumps number 2 and number 3 using HF. Jump number 1 was made about a month ago, and I only clued a handful of people in on it because it was a test. So those of you that made contact with me on jump number 1, hey, thank you. On number 2, really thank you. And number 3, when you guys see the video for number 3, you're going to be amazed. I was shocked. I was not prepared for the level of a pileup that I had. In any case, I'm going to take you through this. This is my HF parachute mobile rig. So let's get to it. So here's the rig as I take it in the sky. I will make a side shot here in a minute and inject it into this video, but I put this shoulder strap around my waist because the people that make this bag make it that way as well, so you can actually put it around your waist if you want. And then I also use this leg strap around my thigh to keep it from swinging left and right after it's around my waist, okay? So I will show you that in an insert, which is hopefully here right now. If not, I just didn't figure it out in my editing software, and I will some other time. If not, it'll just be spliced here. Next, I have the system as I took it. This is a Maxpedition Bag. I don't know the exact model off the top of my head, but I'll put a link to it on the description down there. And, you know, it'll be an Amazon affiliate link, just so you know, I may get a couple percentage bits out of it. So, in the sky, I've deployed my parachute. Everything is ready. I open up this buckle, okay, and my antenna is ready to be deployed. Okay, on the ground, I set my frequency on the radio already, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, take these tethers off, which I'm not gonna undo now. But basically, imagine I have to take a minute to undo this cable manager, and that cable manager is just some 550 cord. Knotted around the wire or the cable, and it actually matters quite a bit because on jump number 1 I didn't use this. I just used the tension from this clip and the flap over it to retain it all, and it didn't retain it. Well, it retained most of it, but it still let some of it unravel, and that could have been bad for me. So I learned a lesson there as well. Always have this puppy tied down if I'm using this monster of an antenna, which is a 20-meter Slim Jim that I made, and I have a different video. I'll post it right there if you want to go see that. Anyhow, antenna's deployed. Next is my earpiece. It's just a plain old set of headphones, in-ear headphones, and for whatever reason, I think it's by design, only one channel works. So I have to make sure to grab the right side and plug the right side into my right ear. After that, radio comes on. This is an IC706 Mark II G, and then the microphone is stowed in the pocket in the same pocket as I had my headphones in. Okay, so there. On the side, I'm powering this with a 12 amp hour Bioenno battery, which is overkill for what I'm doing. I just sized the battery basically on what I thought I might need, and it turned out to be way more than what I really needed, but that's fine. The weight is not a problem for me. It does get cumbersome. The total weight of the package gets cumbersome, but I can work it, right? I can deal with it. And then the last sort of bit is that I have this recorder on the side. This also just a digital recorder. It has a mic input. There's a cable that goes to the back DIN connector of the radio. We'll get there in a second. That just gives me the output of the radio. There's something, one of the levels ain't quite right, because when I transmit, instead of having crisp recording of my voice on this, it is pretty garbled. However, the recording of my contacts comes in clean. So I'm going to leave the levels as they are. Assuming that my video works, I will have my voice and it'll be okay. And if not, well, it'll be all right too. So let me pull this radio out and show you a problem that I learned about on this jump. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this microphone, put it aside, and so I'm going to solve this problem with another video that I'm actually going to make today. But if you see this, actually, let me disconnect that there. Let me disconnect my headphones as well. You see the cable is bottoming out at the bottom of the bag and making a pretty hard kink on it, and I don't like that one bit. So I'm going to make some rails for the radio using the mounting screws for the car mount. I'm going to make an extension rails to this so that the extension comes out to about here, so that the cable doesn't have the weight of the radio on it and kinks up. Here is the cable that I got for the export of the sound of the radio. I got it from a guy online. I got to look up his contact information. I actually called ICOM about it, and they said, listen, you can make your own radio, or you can make your own cable, and here's the pin you need to tap into. Here are the pins you need to tap into. But if you talk to this guy, he actually makes that already if you don't want to reinvent the wheel. And I don't want to reinvent the wheel, especially for, I think it was 25 bucks. I'd have to double check. It was low enough that I decided I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm going to let somebody else that already knows how to do this well do it for me. That's the rig as I jumped it this weekend, okay? Follow up to that. Jump number one was made with an antenna that I bought. And I kept it up here, and it fits really well, and that is a Packtenna. So this is an MFET half-wave from Packtenna. I have already gone ahead and extended it so it goes to 40 meters. So far, my plan is to get there at some point in time in terms of band to use, but for now I'm going to stick to 20. The extension is made with a couple of Anderson power poles at the end of the original wire, and I tacked on the new wire, which is this side, with another Anderson power pole. That way I can disconnect it for the jumps. This thing worked out really well on my initial use of it. I used that because I made that and I wanted to test how it goes. I also have an antenna I ordered an MFET half-wave also from Kilo Mike 4 Alpha Charlie Kilo. He also makes the script, the Pi script that I use. Super handy for Radio Pi. So if you haven't used that yet, I'll put a link on the description or up here. I don't think YouTube lets me put external links up here yet. So that's the setup as I took it with me on this past weekend. Past weekend being March 22nd, 23rd, or 24th, something like that, of 2021. I don't know when you're going to be watching this. So going forward, I'm either probably going to use this. This is a lot easier to manage in the sky. Or that MFET half-wave that I ordered. If it gets here before the weekend, I'll go ahead and build it and have it for this weekend. In any case, That's the rig. All right, and then the last bit on this video is this. I have a question for all of you that watch these videos. I'm at a point where I can't justify making hard commitments to a parachute mobile jump because I also work in skydiving. So if I commit to making a jump, especially in the middle of the day, I have to take myself out of work in the daily work cycle at the drop zone to be able to make that jump. If I were to open up a Patreon, I would like that may help, right? So what I want to know from you is, would you throw in a buck? If you would, let me know. Drop me a comment or maybe email me. My email on QRZ is good. It'll get to me. Either one will work. I just want to know what level of engagement to go with, because the pileup on jump number 2 on Saturday was insane, and I appreciate all of you for making that contact and for making that line, and the ones that we actually made the contact, thank you, and the ones that participated on the pileup and tried to make the contact, I thank you. There's obviously something to this. I just don't know how much there is to this. So I don't want to overshoot my welcome or overstay my welcome, and at the same time I don't want to not give you what you're looking for. The jump and the contacts are a lot of fun for me as well. So there's a give and take, obviously, but I can't justify taking myself out of the work cycle in the middle of the day yet. So let me know in the comments if a Patreon would work, and if it does, great, and if it doesn't, that's fine too. I just need to know where to go with this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Keep making that call, ham harder.